People who can fall asleep within 8 seconds of their head hitting their pillow. How the fuck do you fall asleep within 8 seconds of your head hitting your pillow? That's my secret, Cap. I'm always tired. I'm surprised this isn't closer to the top. I'm always tired and can fall asleep no problem, and I thought a lot of people were like that. But I'm just now realizing that maybe I have a problem. This is what I came to say. I'm so exhausted all the time. If I have no responsibilities to wake up for, I'll easily sleep 15 to 20 hours. I'll fall asleep at my desk, on the bus, on the toilet. As a kid I'd come home from school and just make it through the front door before falling asleep on the floor fully clothed with my backpack still on. I paid for a sightseeing bus tour along the river Nile in Egypt and slept through most of it because I always sleep on car rides. I read books 3 pages at a time with lots of accidental naps in between. My big question is, how do people stay awake and alert for a whole day? My flatmates sleep 5 to 6 hours a night and I get tired just thinking about it. I'm a firefighter and my one partner says what he likes least about me is my ability to fall asleep so fast after returning from a call. It helps to be physically tired. Much easier to fall asleep when your body has been engaged in physical activity during the day. I try to lay perfectly still, and not allow myself to scratch my nose if it itches, for example. I just ignore the itch and next thing I know, it's time to get up. I just discovered that there are people with an inner monologue and this voice in their head allows them to have silent discussions and worry about decisions and whatnot. I don't have this. I don't have any voices talking to me. My preference is also to listen to a documentary on YouTube or Netflix. I set my timer on my phone to stop playing after 20 minutes and rarely stay awake till the end. I am very well versed on the first 10 minutes of World War II. My brother is one of these people, and I asked him this recently. The trick is a clean conscience. I got nothing to think about. Me, how do you not think about anything? I don't know. I just stopped thinking. He's 16. Not thinking is the key. I had to train myself to completely clear my mind. Start by cutting inner monologues. Imagine you were born deaf and think primarily in images. Then cut those and just focus on what you feel. The last step is to tune out those sensations. In the beginning, you will only be able to sustain it for a couple seconds, but you'll be able to go longer with time. Eventually, it'll be second nature. In the beginning, my primary goal was to remove the stress of my life for a moment through meditation, but it ended up being a useful way to fall asleep. Also, I don't remember the last time I've woken up in the middle of the night. The only downside is that I sleep like the dead and never dream. I just close my eyes as if to blink, and when I open them back up, it's morning, and my wife is pissed that I missed my alarm. My friend does this. We'll be playing video games, then he'll suddenly be tired and good night. Literally seconds later I can hear him snoring in his room. Like your friend, I also can sleep right away. I've been teased about it a lot growing up. But seeing as how I'm in the minority of people, I must assume that would be because of envy? I'm not sure if other people like me are like this, but I don't have an inner monologue that distracts from my sleep time. Man, I have insomnia and none of this shit works. I always laugh at the responses to these, because most of them are a chicken or the egg situation. Insomniacs don't have trouble sleeping because they look at a screen before falling asleep. We look at a screen in bed because we know how miserable it is to literally lay in a pitch black room with nothing but white noise for 7 straight hours and never fall asleep. We don't have a schedule because of our insomnia. We don't have insomnia because we don't have a schedule. We work out at night, because we spend the morning still trying to fall asleep. When we work out in the morning, it means we don't sleep at all for 48+ hours. We have tried, just don't think about anything. We've tried no screens, we've tried relaxing voices/sounds/podcasts. We've tried meditation, we've googled every possible thing to learn how to fall asleep. We've tried whatever bullshit herb or sleep aid is popular this week. That shit just doesn't work. It's not our faults. Our brains are just idiots. I remember when my sleep therapist gave me the advice that if you've been lying in bed for an hour and still can't fall asleep, get up and do something productive that doesn't cause blue light, e.g., sweep your kitchen, and try again in an hour to sleep. It was summer holidays, so I had 8 weeks off from work. I work in a school, which meant no commitments. I decided to truly let my body decide when it wanted to sleep. I tried practicing perfect sleep hygiene exactly as prescribed. I didn't notice an improvement in my sleep schedule. I'd be awake at the weirdest hours of the night. But when I was actually tired, I'd fall asleep easily. And more importantly, I woke up feeling rested. Unfortunately, that could mean sleeping from 3 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Monday, having a 90-minute nap at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, then sleeping from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Wednesday. And that's not something I can do during the working week. Every day was different. After 2 months I brought my sleep diary back to her and she took one look and said, "Oh, you don't have insomnia and sleep deprivation related crashes like we thought, looks like. You have a circadian rhythm disorder." She sent me for further testing to confirm, but yeah, my internal body clock is set to shuffle. No amount of "don't drink coffee after midday" is going to fix a congenital neurological condition. And idiopathic insomnia is also technically a neurological condition, but melatonin sure helps. I've had so many lay people tell me, "Ooh, careful with taking melatonin every night, prolonged use can destroy your body's ability to fall asleep without it." My body's ability to fall asleep naturally was already fucked. My doctor prescribes my medication and I'll trust them. With my current dose, I can fall asleep within 20 minutes of hitting the pillow, no matter what time it is. It doesn't help me stay asleep, but I've never had issues with that. I'm a deep sleeper, other than owning a small bladder. Chronic sleep deprivation. I came in here to offer some advice, like think about being in a movie or video game, but the more I think about it, the more I'm sure you are right. For me it was a learned skill, thank you US Army. They pushed me to work from Reveille to TAPS, and only allowed for 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and I need 7 to 8. I wore an alarm watch. Any break during the day? Oh, I have 25 minutes? Set alarm watch, prop against a tree or lay down anywhere I could. Bam, asleep. My wife is still amazed at how I do it. I'm a lifelong insomniac, but my sister could fall asleep on her way to the pillow and sleep through the car going over train tracks. I wake up if a mouse farts across the street. I never got it. Out of all the things you could say to represent a little noise, a mouse farting across the street is what you chose? I respect it. I agree with it. And I most definitely will use it in the future. I've worked 20+ shifts and be ridiculously tired and still takes me 20 to 30 minutes at least. So, what the answer is, I think it's just brain chemistry. Thanks for this. I keep seeing responses that basically say I work hard. Lots of people do and still can't sleep for shit. I don't work 20-hour shifts but have a very stressful job. I'm always exhausted at the end of the day but can't fall asleep for an hour after I lay down, minimum. I use a meditation method I learned in a yoga class. Lay flat on your back, take deep breaths through your nose. As you exhale, mentally relax each muscle group starting with your face and working down to your toes. Try to imagine exhaling through your muscles and out through your toes. Imagine your body slowly melting into your bed. This usually takes about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Next, imagine as vividly as possible a river. It helps if you use one from memory. I personally use a combination of the River Wild movie and memories from a family trip to the Green River. Imagine yourself walking out to the middle of the river. Let yourself get lost in the flow around you. Try to imagine any stray thoughts as floating to you on the river. As you think of things, set them in the water and watch them float away. This process without fail gets me to sleep within 10 minutes, if I am having trouble sleeping. But like Ralph Wiggum, sleep is where I am a Viking. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Sorry for my abysmal Simpsons knowledge. I think I really just wanted Ralph to be an amazing genius who kills people in space and commits xenocide. You can't think. Don't think of anything real or about falling asleep. Once you do, you'll never go to sleep. Best trick I've found when I don't fall asleep easy is to put myself in a movie. Like imagine yourself walking through the gates of Hogwarts. What happens next? All up to you, and just let your imagination flow. Eventually you'll fall asleep without realizing it. I have to kinda gaze into the back of my eyelids without thinking. Like, you know, when you rub your eyes and all the different shapes and images and shit fly around? I just watch them with absolutely no thought and I'm out within 2 to 3 minutes. Just basically never give a shit about anything meaningful, that way you'll never have anything to keep you awake. Totally healthy way to approach life. This is just another way of saying acceptance. It actually is a really healthy way of approaching life if you do it right. Not necessarily not doing anything you give a shit about. Instead, realizing that nothing really matters as much as you think it does, and loving what you're going through. I have created an imaginary world in my head that I only visit when I'm in bed and going to sleep. My mind associates those places and characters and narratives with sleep. Edit. How wonderful to wake up and discover that this comment went bananas. Smile. So cool to see so many people with awesome imaginations. Makes me so happy. I do the same thing. And I never thought about the associative factor as being why it's so effective. I also wear a sleep mask, and I think putting it on is part of the ritual that tells my brain that it's bedtime. This is literally me. My husband is just the reverse. The main differences I observe between the two of us: 1. I'm a doer, he is a thinker. Worrying about stuff keeps him up at night, whereas I go to bed with the reassurance I've done all I can do that day and que sera sera. 2. He brings his phone to bed and browses Reddit. I'm strictly no screens an hour before bed. 3. Other than bringing the phone to bed, he has no routine. By about 9:30, I'm winding down with my skincare routine, washing up, making a hot drink, and then in bed with a book by 10:15 at the latest. 4. Since I'm the high-energy person in the relationship, I am moving and doing things all the time: get home from work, cooking, have dinner, work out, do some laundry, read before bed. I'm pretty physically tired/drained by the time I hit the pillow. My husband runs at what seems to be a consistently lower energy level, like low enough that he needs a lot of downtime, usually in front of screens, to recharge, but high enough that he doesn't sleep well. I had to train myself to sleep fast. I went from taking hours upon hours to fall asleep, but now if I say I'm going to bed I'll be asleep for you can say okay, which can sometimes be a bad thing, ha ha ha. Start by turning off all electronics you are using, lay down, close your eyes, and no matter what do not open them till morning. At first it's painful because you'll lay with your eyes shut for hours in boredom, but after a few weeks of doing this every night your body gets trained into falling asleep faster and faster. It's basically breaking the habit of not being able to fall asleep. Hope this helps you sleep better. Smile. I made my bed as comfortable and boring as possible. White cotton sheets, white cotton pillowcases, etc. I try to make my bed, or at least keep it semi-made, because I have an easier time falling asleep when the sheets are straight and my blankets lined up properly. I wear white cotton pajamas without buttons or anything scratchy, because if I'm even a little bit uncomfortable it's much harder to fall asleep. I braid my hair before bed, which stops my hair from getting in my face, because again, I can't sleep if I'm uncomfortable. As an added bonus, keeping my hair braided stops it from wrapping around my neck and throttling me while I sleep. I use a very heavy blanket. It's not weighted, but I knit it myself and hang knit blankets way more than store-bought blankets. I keep my feet warm, because for some reason that helps. Depending on the season, I'll either use a heated blanket, heating pad, or just wear socks. I don't try to go to bed unless I actually feel tired. There's this sort of wave of sleepiness that hits me at night, and if I get in bed 20 minutes of that happening, I pass out almost immediately. If I miss that window, I get an adrenaline rush and will be up forever. I try to do soothing, repetitive things at night before bed. Knitting, folding laundry, etc. Sometimes I wear blue light filtering glasses because that is supposed to help your body properly produce sleep hormones. And if it doesn't, well, the placebo effect's pretty powerful too. If nothing else works, I take melatonin and slowly drink a cup of tea while reading Calvin and Hobbes. I've got ADHD, caffeine relaxes me,